Hey everyone, it's Don, Captain Cross Stitch once again, coming to you live from a rainy, chilly Sunday, Easter Sunday, in fact, April the 5th. I'm a little late on my usual delivery time for this video because I had a recent hospital stay yet again. This past Tuesday, I had been having symptoms of an infection yet again, fever and chills. But I didn't waste any time this time getting looked at. My wife took me to the urgent care and they said that they wouldn't do anything for me, that I should go to the ER. So that's what I did, as much as I hated being there and all that. But I don't want to lose a leg, so anyway. But I'm home now, taking antibiotics. The leg shows improvement daily, so I guess I'm on the right track for now. So if you're new here, this is a channel about cross stitch and sometimes some other things you didn't know you didn't need to know. But anyway, this is covering what I did or maybe what I didn't do, which might become self-evident during the month of March. So for those of you that have been following, welcome back. I appreciate it. Tell your friends, family, mailman, whoever, tell them to tune in and maybe see something that is worth their time. But so yeah, that was my life update. I had been doing really well for a long time. This kind of just sprung up out of the blue. It could have been related to, I had I went to a wound care specialist for issues that I have going on with my feet, which, you know, for people with diabetes and neuropathy, you really have to stay on top of making sure there's nothing going on with your feet, because they could be amputated very easily. But anyway, so let that be your public service announcement for this episode. So for the month of March, I didn't do a whole lot of stitching. I don't even have a stitch count totaled. There was a lot of days, big stretches of time where I didn't stitch at all. Just not been motivated. I'm not really sure why, but I had, I had one new start, and then I worked on 3 other projects during the month. So I'll show you the new start is very minimal. I was at my local stitch group. Sorry, I need a lightsaber. Keep my mouth from drying out. So I was at my monthly stitch group here in Harford County, Maryland. It's called Heirloom Stitchers of Maryland. hosted by the wonderful Kim Weinholt. And we have a great time there. There's a really nice, decent-sized group of people. Her is Kim and Heather, Hannah Dowling, who has a Floss Tube channel that's very interesting, although she hasn't had a new episode in a while. And her friend Kayla, and Caitlin and Jen and Carol and Sue and Ellen, my wife Nancy. Yeah, it's a good-sized group, bunch of good people. But anyway, the new start I had is called, and I did it for the month of March, and the one holiday that falls in there, of course, is St. Patrick's Day. So I started a project called A Shamrock for Luck. It's a Tempting Tangles Designs by the wonderful and ever stitching and designing machine that is Deborah Dick. Hi, Deborah. So this is what it looks like. And like I said, I was not in a good headspace that day, even though it was a new start. I should have been excited for it, which I was, but I just couldn't concentrate. I really didn't. I really got next to nothing done. So that's it. That little bit, probably like 20, 25 stitches maybe. So I'm stitching it on a piece of fabric from my friend Amy, Fiber Arts Amy. If you follow her on Floss Tube, it's from her business, Oak Crown Studios. And the color of the fabric is called Barely Mint. So it's a very pale green mint color. So I'm, hitting all the types of greens that I can get. And I'm using a variegated floss. Hold on. It's a DMC 125. So you can see right now I'm in a dark part of the floss, but there are lighter greens and creamy green colors mixed in there. And that's on a 14 count. Again, from Oak Crown Studios, Barely Mint. And I'm storing that in my green inspired project bag from Shiva Designs. One of Melissa's, you can kind of see the inside of the bag. It's got a flower print in there. So, okay, my next whip is I worked on, which was a new start, I believe in January. Magpie's Forage from Floss Designs, or Floss Embroidery, sorry. So I'm making decent progress on this. I'm working on finishing the central character, and then I'll spread around to the borders and all the repetitive design work. But it's pretty cool. It really caught my eye when I saw it online, and I bought the pattern actually some time ago, and then kind of promptly forgot about it in my computer because it was a PDF. And then one day I was transferring files around, and I said, "Oh, let me see what I got here." And I actually found several Floss designs that I bought, and I really want to start all of them. I have one other one kitted up, ready to go, which I may start in the not too near future. But yeah, it's only a handful of colors, which I like, and I'm storing it in my owl bag from Floss Embroidery. The bag is from Shiva Designs. Again, Melissa, I hope you're doing well. Miss you. I'll miss you at the Grace Notes retreat this year. We're gonna miss a lot of people that I'm friends with that aren't gonna be there. So I guess I'll have to make some new friends. All right, let's see if I can get this back in the bag. Okay, the next project I worked on is one I haven't touched in a while. It's called Galileo's Telescope, and it's from Summer House Stitch Works. I'm stitching this design here. This is actually the extra design that they give you. This is part one of a three-part. This thing with the windmills, man, that glare is terrible. This piece here with the windmills on it, it's a triptych. It's 3 sections, and there's 3 parts. It took me forever to do. I plan on doing the 3-parted thing as well. But I really like this pinwheel compass kind of thing. But yeah, it took me forever to find parts 2 and 3. Actually, I had kind of given up that I never thought I would really find the other parts. And then November of 2024, my wife and I went to Ocean City, Maryland for the weekend. November, the beach in November, it was pretty cold and everything was closed. A lot of stuff was closed on the boardwalk. I mean, we drove around and, saw the sights, and we did go on the boardwalk because we wanted to take our dog Benny, who's not here today, so sorry, Carla. we wanted to take him to the ocean to see how he would react because he had never been. So he did romp in the sand, and he did like he chomped, like he chomped at the water coming in. It was comical. But anyway, there's an enormous LNS there. I'm forgetting the name of the place. Salty Yarns. They used to be on the boardwalk, but they moved to a place just outside of Ocean City proper, but a much bigger space. And they have tons and tons of stuff, and they have yarn as well. So if you're a knitter, crocheter, you can go there as well. And that's in Berlin, Maryland. Salty Yarns. But anyway, I'll get to my progress. So this is where I'm at. So I had been doing all the circular stuff, but I was getting bored with that, so I jumped in on a second color in the middle here. So there's only like 3 or 4 colors in this design, but so I'm stitching that on a piece of Grace Notes fabric in the color Trent. So I'm sorry, I got light shining through. But anyway, yeah, it's a little 3-parter. Like, or each piece has some kind of extra small thing that they include as well, which is nice. I mean, okay. And then the last thing I worked on is my oldest whip. If you remember in previous episodes, it's King Tut. It's actually called Royal Pear, but I'm only doing the King Tut design for now. Yeah, it was from Janlin. It was a kit. So I'm actually getting fairly close to being done the central design. Last time I showed it, there was a lot of white in these sides. You can still see some here that I have to finish up, but that's what I'm working on now, filling in these with the gold color, and then there's some spot fill-in areas, here and there, that are highlights, so it'll probably be a white or something close to it. And then once that's complete, there's a black, I think it's a black single line border that goes all the way around. And then there'll be a band of hieroglyphics that goes around the whole thing. And then I think another black border, and then that's it. So I'm going to keep working on it. My desire is to finish this year, because this is more than 25 years old when I started it. So yeah, I have a desire to finish it. So I'm just going to keep plugging away at it, and once I finish this, and I can start kind of like the mindless border, not the filling this in is kind of mindless as well, but getting it done is. But I really want to get started on those hieroglyphics because I think that'll really pull the design together as a whole, the project as a whole. So those were my whips for the month of March. Okay, so in the past I had thought about adopting some kind of stitching game that I first found out through Carla Pagan that she kind of adopted from another floss tuber, Jen Marie, I think. Sorry if I get that wrong. Jen Marie does stuff. I'm sorry, I'm probably getting that wrong. But anyway, she has a highly involved system, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I like the idea of it. I mean, it works for her, and that's great. If it works for her, that's all that matters. But I kind of adopted the idea of it is more or less. I kind of didn't. I'm doing sort of my own game mechanics. So I've adopted it, and then I used some stuff from various Dungeons and Dragons playbook, that has rule books, the Dungeon Master's Guide and Player's Handbook and the Monster Manual basically is all you need. So I adopted certain rules from within those manuals, and I came up with something that I'm going to call the Crypts of Cross Stitch. And so I tried it out, and I'll show you what I did. So in the Dungeon Master's Guide, they have random tables of, you can basically create a random dungeon. And it'll tell you, the parameters, the size of the room, how many exits from the room, whether it's a corridor from the room or a door, and there's what is randomly in the room. Is there an encounter with a creature? Is there treasure to be found? Or is there traps? That kind of thing. Excuse me. So, in testing it out, so I'll show you the map so far. So I haven't. So this is where it started. So there were stairs going down into the dungeon, and then it came to a T intersection. I could go either way, so I chose to go this way. And it came out into a room, 20 by 30 foot room, with a doorway here, or I should say a door there, and then another corridor leading off. So I walked into the room, and immediately I triggered a trap. Well, by just using random tables, this trap, let's see if I wrote it down. Yeah, so I triggered a deadly flame trap. So like jets of flame shot up from the floor or the wall or something. And it basically would have almost killed me. It probably would have killed me. So I said, okay, that's a little rough to start. So I needed to make some adjustments. I mean, I accepted the trap as it was. I just had to change my character a little bit to make sure I could at least survive it. So, because initially I just gave myself like armor and a weapon, and that's it. And but I was too weak. My character was too average to withstand a lot of damage all at once. So I needed something to increase my protection. So I upgraded my armor a little bit, and then I gave myself a cloak of protection, which gives me bonuses to my armor class and my dice rolls when I have to save versus things like traps and spells and whatnot. So once I did that, I still took the damage, but it wouldn't have killed me. So I went with it like that. So how I figured it and how I'm working it into my stitching is this. So in this instance, it was a deadly trap, which traps have a rating just like creatures have ratings. So I basically made it like this. Since I needed to roll 16 or higher on a 20-sided die to save against the trap, but I failed. I failed to roll. To take half damage, I have to stitch. So remember, I said I had to roll a 16 or higher. I'm going to have to stitch. I said I had to stitch 160 stitches to only take half damage. But then I gave myself a minus 10 because the cloak is protecting me. So it's essentially helping me overcome the trap. So 150 stitches total. All right, so I did that. So I stitched 150. All right, so I survived that, and I'm in the next room. What did I do? Well, like I said, there was a door and a corridor. Well, I went to open the door. Now, I guess I should have learned a lesson from the fire trap, but I didn't think randomly on a random table that I would get hit with a second trap that quickly. But that's exactly what happened. So I tried opening the door, but it was a false door. It wasn't a real door. It was just a fake trap. So it triggered a spell called Thunder Wave, which basically it's a wave of force that knocks you off your feet and sends you flying back. So it knocked me back into the previous corridor, but it was the damage was, the trap was not as deadly as the flame trap. So I only had to stitch 90 on that. But I did take more damage, so I am, let's see. Yeah, so the flame trap dealt 5 damage to me, so my hit points dropped from 11 to 6. And then the false door thunderway trap dealt 4 damage to me, so I'm down to 2 hit points already. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I haven't decided if there is a way to heal, or if I die. Excuse me. If my character dies, what do I do then? Haven't decided yet. But anyway, so that's kind of the idea. It's still a work in progress. I'm gonna, play around with it and see if I can figure out how to survive. All right. So, all right. So, since my last video, I've gotten, you're gonna laugh when you see it, but I've gotten a sizable amount of haul. I don't remember ordering so much. I remember ordering a couple of times, but I never got much all at once. I think it's just like multiple small orders, and they've just kind of piled up on me. But anyway, so if you like haul, I got a fair bunch. Let's see. We'll start off with some fabric. This is my last Grace Notes fabric of the month. So, and they love it. They always put little stickers in there, and that's a cool shamrock or leprechaun with a shamrock. But this last month's color was called Adobe, and I always get a fat quarter in 14 count. I may have to hold off on their subscription for a while, because I still, another life update I guess I never mentioned was I'm still unemployed, and I'm still working on applying for disability. In fact, yesterday I had a physical exam done by the disability physician. So I hope they saw how weak and feeble I am. But anyway, this color is, I think it's a light blue. I don't know how it comes across on camera, but it does have some brownish modeling in there, which you might consider an Adobe color. I'm not going to unfold it all the way. It's pretty, but if I get to the point where I have some income again, I may bump up my size of fabric to be a fat half instead of a fat quarter, because I find that sometimes, or maybe half the time, if I want to do something, my fat quarters are just always just that much too small. So I can't, I mean, I can still use it, but it has to be for a medium or small project. But anyway. Oh, and I don't know if you could see back there. I have a new chalkboard sign, because I used to have one of those little pegboard things, and that was just a nuisance. So I don't know if you can read it, but it says Floss 2, number 28, Easter. Easter is in green, which is kind of dark. It doesn't necessarily show up as well, but I think I'm going to have to buy me a different pack of markers, one with like neon colors in it, so I can make what I write brighter. And I mean, I know you can read the floss tube thing because that's a bright white, but the other colors were all dark, like red, green, and blue. It's like none of them would really show up well. But anyway, just a little something I picked up at the Hobby Lobby. Okay. All right. So first thing I got is I'm so happy about this because it's just easier for me. But 1, 2, 3 Stitch has started carrying Caterpillar cross stitch magnetic needle minders, and their needle minders are top notch. They're well made, they're colorful, they're sturdy, and they're awesome. And the magnets are super strong. So I highly recommend them if you've never tried one. So over the course of different orders, I've actually gotten 3 new ones. I got the snowflake. I got dragonfly. And a cute koala bear. And I don't know if you can see them, but I have some on a metal plate back there. Okay. So this is part of the Farmhouse Christmas Snowy Christmas series from Little House Needleworks. This is part 2 of 9. This is called Horsing Around. And in the same series, part 3, this is called Grandpa's Pickup. I like that one. I need to do and have some more Christmas stuff. Same series. This is part 4 of 9. This is called Dairy Darling, Milk Cow. All right. Now, as you know, or you may know if you've been following me for a while, that I'm a big fan of Bella Filipina, and I've been collecting all the patterns, and I'm getting real close to accomplishing that. As it stands right now, there are 4 that I know of. There could be a couple more, but there's 4. I only need 4 more to have the entire collection. And I'm getting to the more recent ones, which are a lot more expensive. So I can't buy a whole lot of them at once, but I've been knocking them out one or two here and there, so I'll show you the most recent acquisitions. This is number 37, Mermaid Treasures Amethyst. The giant amethyst that she's resting on. This is number 43, called Rasa. Another mermaid. This is number 46 in the series, called Holly Berry Pixie. It's a cute design. Reminds me a lot of Nora Corbett. In just the pose. I mean, not the art style, but just the elegant pose and the daintiness and the fairy wings and all that. All right, this one kept being out of stock. It took forever to get. Number 48 in the series. This is Pontus and Thalassa, and this is, I think, one of the only ones that has a male figure in the design. So a merman and a mermaid. All right, this is part of his Princess series, number 49 in the overall catalog. This is called Poison Apple. The Snow White there. And then another princess. This is number 54 in the overall series, called The Magic Lamp. I think I would stitch that on something a little bit lighter. It's a little too dark. Now this one is one of my favorites. It's another mermaid. It's number 55 in the series. But I just love the pose and the hair and everything. It's called Cordelia. Resting on a big clam. All right, and here's another princess. This is number 56 in the series, called The Glass Slippers, Cinderella, of course. And then another princess. This is Belle. And it's called The Enchanted Rose, number 60. So I guess that's supposed to be from Beauty and the Beast. And then they recently had their 10th anniversary, and they came out with a special design. This is number 61 in their catalog, called Lady Anthea. This has got to be one of the most amazing designs he's ever done. And the package is hefty, so I'm not if I remember correctly, he gave you multiple versions of the design, so maybe there's a lot more paper in there that make it so heavy. So One day I'll open it and find out. What's up, Benny boy? You want to be on camera? Huh? Come here.
Go say hi.
You want to come say hi? Come on, do it up.
Up, up. That's a good boy.
Look up here. Look up here, Ben. The camera's tilted just enough that he's not on it. Well, anyway, you kind of saw the top of his head. And then, of course, another princess in the series, number 63. This is called The Golden Voice, and it would be Ariel, of course. And I love the fabric on that. That's a good color choice. All right, so like I said, there's only a few more that I need to purchase to get the rest of that series. I have a few more. This is from Joan Elliott Designs. It's called Give Thanks for All Things. And another Joan Elliott. This is called Princess of the Snows. You got some woodland creatures there. Out in the snow. There's another Joan Elliott. This is called Earth Goddess. It's very pretty. Very subtle, soft earth tones. And another Joan Elliott, I'm collecting those as well. This is called the Ice Princess. Okay, and then I'm saving the best for last. This was a Nashville market release from Plum Street Samplers. This is called A Worthy Patriot. So I fell in love with this like the first time I saw it. This is going to become a priority new start once I get some fabric. I have all the floss. Since there were so many specialty flosses, like, you know, Classic Color Works and Week Dye Works and General Art, you know, I just went ahead and ordered everything from 123 Stitch. That way I didn't have to track anything down. But yeah, it's a big chart. It's a big design. But I'm a proud patriot, and I want to celebrate the semi-quincentennial. I think they got that right. This year, 250th birthday of the greatest nation that ever was, at least as far as we know. At least before the last great civilizations were destroyed. But anyway, so that's it for haul. What else do I have on the agenda? All right, so like I said, that's going to be a new start at some point in the not too near future. As soon as I get my credit card, bank card replacement, it's supposed to come sometime this week. You don't realize how hard it is to live with the debt without the damn thing when you don't have it. So, and I just had to open new bank accounts and stuff. So, you got to switch all your bill pay information over, and you get all kinds of things that, oh, you got to pay it. And I'm like, well, I don't have the information to pay it because I haven't got my credit card yet. But anyway, so that might be one. The Santas of Fable and Fantasy, I've shown that in the past. It's from an old issue of hold on a second. Let me pause this. So it's from an old issue of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. If I can get it out. Yeah, so it was from this magazine from the November and December 1991 issue. I'll show you a picture of it. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. So to my friend Dana, she sent me a picture saying, you should try and find this and do it. And I said, I already have it and it's kitted and ready to go. I just haven't started it. So that's on my radar as well. But it's a lot of colors. And there's a bag full of colors. And I got the fabric. I had a hard time finding a couple colors. I had to order them. And then it's got some beads in it, I believe, and some Krynic, which I have somewhere else in my room here. But yeah, so that's a potential new start, as well as some others. I got to be in the mood. I can't force myself anymore, it seems. The bag is too small. But anyway, I got that in my Santa bag. So that was from Daisy Tolson, handmade by her. It's a Santa bag. It's very cute. So that's another potential start. So plans. Well, it's April. So 4 months from now, I don't know where I'll be financially. I'm really hoping I get approved for disability, because that'll save my bacon for sure. I keep applying for jobs. I applied for another one yesterday, but I keep getting the no thank you. I'm not very hopeful that I'll actually get a job again. Physically, I can't be on my feet. So I'd have to be at a desk job or something that I could do from home. So, but I'll keep trying, and But anyway, yeah. So the money will run out. What money I have, it will run out in a couple of months. But I can't reapply for disability. For unemployment until July. Which, that's 3 months away. So we'll see, I guess. But anyway, the only thing on the horizon, so Stitch related. Lindy Stitch's Spring Mingle is coming up in May, May 15th through 17th. Tickets go on sale for that on the 10th, so this coming Friday. So get yours. I'm not sure what guests she's going to have, but she always has pretty good people. So, and it's worth the money. If you've not been to one before, it's a virtual event. So check it out. Go to lindystitches.com. I'm sure there's information there for you. And then I have my first and only planned retreat of the year, and that's the Grace Notes retreat in August. That's August 6th through 9th, up in Allentown, PA. So if you're interested, I don't know if she still has spots remaining open, but it's a good possibility. So go to Grace Notes Fabrics.com, and there should be some information there somewhere. The only other idea I had, should I happen to complete my Bella Filipina collection with the remaining few that I still need, because I have them on a reminder. I have them on my wish list on 123 Stitch, but some of them are on, like, they're out of stock, so when they get restocked, they're going to send me an email saying they're available again. Or I would probably already have at least one more. But what I plan on doing is, once I get to where I have them all, I'm going to do a Bella Filipina parade. And I may do that in June, I think, so in a couple months, because that's when the Philippines, they celebrate their Independence Day is in June. So I may do that in honor of that, and do a walkthrough, and maybe I'll do a little research on who some of the characters are and talk about that as well. Because there's a lot of, historical and mythological characters that he's done throughout his series. All right, I think that's it. So we're at about an hour, which is not bad. So until next time, hopefully I won't have any more hospital stays or anything like that. But I'll make sure I keep all of my appointments and keep doing what I'm supposed to do. So until next time, Captain Cross Stitch signing off. Have a great spring and keep on stitching. Bye.